Welcome to My Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. Oh, welcome to My Asshole Podcast. Today is Thursday, you guys' favorite day. You want to know why it's your favorite day? It's because we got our spicy book. Oh baby, we got our spicy book. This is actually the last day of Beautiful Venom, guys. We did it. Another book down, man. God damn. As they would say, you know what I mean? Where's my button at? I haven't found that button in a minute. Oh, I don't think I have it on this soundboard. All right, damn. Another one. Damn. I thought I had that button on here, but I guess I don't. But this will be our last episode for Beautiful Venom. Beautiful Venom was actually a really, really good book. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I know that I did. My goodness. But if you guys stayed all the way until the end of Tuesday's episode, I actually announced the next book. And the next book is actually going to be us finishing Haunting the Hunter. Now, everybody's been wondering what the hell's been going on with Haunting the Hunter, why I haven't finished it, this and that. Well, you know, the author of the book, since the book had just came out at that time, you know, they were just like, hey, yo, why, you know, you got it out here on the internet for free. And I'm like, look, man, you know, I'm trying to give the people what they want. And so they didn't like that. They told me, hey, you know what I mean? You can't do the rest of the book, this and that, whatever the case may be. But I guess now that the book has kind of just been out for a while and, you know, it's all good, it is what it is, I'm able to do the rest of the book. So starting next week, we're going to be pretty much finishing that book up. And we're going to be doing it not in a live stream style. We're going to be doing it in the style that we normally do on the Thursdays, where, you know, I do a thread. Then we do the book, all that good stuff. So if you enjoyed Haunting the Hunter and you listened to it on the live stream, I will see if I can pin that live stream either in the comments or in the description, one of the two. And most likely will be in the description. I'll probably put it in the description for you. So that way you guys can listen to that live stream. I think it's like a maybe 5.5 hour live stream. It's a long live stream, but we go over like a bunch of the book. Probably like half the book, if I'm being real with you. And then you guys can watch that and then, you know, jump into it, or you can jump into it, you know, starting next week. It's up to you. I want to give you guys options. I'll have a playlist like I normally do, so that way all the episodes are in one playlist. All the books have their own playlist. All of this stuff have their own playlist on Spotify as well as on YouTube. So no matter where you guys listen, no matter where you guys tune in, you guys have a playlist to get the content that you want and not all the bullshit that you don't. You know what I mean? I try to make everything easy for you guys just so that I know I upload a lot. We do 3 shows a week. So, you know, some people are only here for the Thursday book episodes. That's totally fine. That's why I do the playlists for you guys, so that way you can find what you want. And, you know, not less of what you don't. Some people are here for all the content. Some people are only here for the Tuesday and Sunday show. Some people are only here for the Sunday show because, you know, me and Michael are a crack up. Whatever it may be, I try my best to have everything set up. Now, I also do have a playlist for the Sunday like video react episodes. That playlist is called Sunday Reacts. So that playlist is actually on there too. So that way, if you guys just want to catch up with the episodes that we've done so far, as far as like the video reacting stuff and all that kind of stuff, that is also in a playlist as well. So everything's playlisted for you guys. Audio listeners don't have a playlist for that. I can work on getting a playlist for you guys though. I'll try to work on getting a playlist for you guys. If I do, it'll be linked down in the description and you'll see it. It'll say Sunday Reacts playlist, Spotify, and it'll say that. I'll try to get that working for you guys ASAP. Probably the day after this gets uploaded, it should be up. All right, so hopefully that it could be up before then, but guarantee it'll be uploaded, the day after this is uploaded. All right. So yeah, man, just trying to, keep shit moving, keep it grooving, keep it good for you guys. You guys have been enjoying the content, supporting the content, and I do appreciate this so very, very, very much. I love you guys, and I appreciate you. But without further ado, we're going to get into our thread. Kind of had to get the pre-show announcements out of the way, but let's get into today's thread. Today's thread is an interesting one, all right? It's a very, very interesting one. Today's thread is, what is an immediate red flag you've seen in someone after you slept with them? All right, let's see what red flags you guys have seen right after doing the shaboing shebangin'. Okay, he went to the bathroom to clean up and called his other girlfriend saying he was on the way to her house. Yo, man is a menace. Man's is a menace. There's no way you didn't know that he had to have been talking to some other girls, that he had to have, like, I refuse to believe that. I refuse to believe that you didn't know that he was talking to other girls. Because girls are really good with this, all right? Like, women are really good. They have that little intuition and all this, whatever. But, like, they're really good at that, is what I've noticed. They'll kind of be able to pick up on little subtle signs. They'll be able to pick up on little nuanced things. He's kind of being a little weird, or he's saying little things. You know what I mean? Like, women are good at picking those things up. I'm surprised that caught you off guard. Maybe she just didn't know. Maybe she was thinking to herself, like, no. Like, he's giving off the signs that he's talking to other girls, but I haven't caught anything, so I'm not going to jump the gun. Maybe. I don't know. Because, like I said, a lot of times, and even women that I've known or even talked to through the show or anything like that, they've always been able to be like, yeah, I can kind of tell, you know what I mean, that this was happening. I can kind of tell that this was what was going on because of X, Y, and Z, or because he was being different, or, he started doing this when he normally does that. You know what I mean? And so that's why for me, I'm like, there's no way you could have not known. You know what I mean? Maybe she knew, but she just didn't want to, like, believe it to be true. I think that's kind of what it was, but I don't know. All right, what is an immediate red flag that you have seen from someone after you slept with them? I woke up halfway through the night and she was walking out the door. I wonder if it was that bad, but found out later from her boyfriend. Damn. At the time that she wasn't single and she was going back to their house. Their house. Not her house. Their house. She was trifling that hard, bruh. Oh my God, that's crazy. That is crazy. Oh man, I love that, we had a guy one and then we had a girl one, because, bro, it's both. The dating scene is ass from both sides. Like, I'm not that type of one that sits there and is just like, oh no, the dating scene is only ass from the guy's perspective because girls have all this and that. Like, no. It's ass from both perspectives, bruh. Because dudes are getting cheated on just as much as girls are nowadays. And it's bad, bro. It is bad. Like, gone are the days of just having a partner, right? And, everything's hunky-dory, chilling and fine, and it's all good. You could trust them. You ain't got to really go through their phone, you know what I mean, and all that kind of stuff. Like, just gone are the days of that. Social media is far too accessible. It's far too easy. Dating apps have really simplified, like, hookup culture, you know what I mean? And it's solidified it as well, to the point where now it's like a core fucking thing now. You know what I mean? Like, it's insanity. And it's like, I see why nobody wants to get married anymore, and including myself. I won't lie to you, including myself. I'm at that point where I'm just like, yo, marriage is just off the table. I much rather just be boyfriend, girlfriend with you through the whole thing. You know what I mean? If, like, we decide, yeah, we want to do this and we start living together, we have a child together, it is what it is. I don't want the institution of marriage. I just don't. I look at it like, cool, if you want to leave, peace and chicken grease. I'm not trying to go through lawyers. I ain't trying to go through all this other crap. And I know everybody sits there, oh, but you know, why would you do all that stuff and not get married to them? Do you not see a future? And it's just like, if I'm being honest with you, it's like, no matter who I'm with, I am kind of expecting something bad to happen. It's like having car insurance. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's just like, yeah, I got it just in case something bad happens. I don't want to have to use it, but like, you know, it is what it is. And that's kind of how I look at it. I look at it like not getting married is just, it's that car insurance, you know, because it's like, if she decides to cheat, or, you know, she decides to leave, she's not happy, whatever the case may be, it's like, cool. All right, then peace and chicken grease, you know. Now I have no problem doing the whole, like, you know, helping you support kids and all that, whatever, like co-parenting and working that out. Like, I have no problem doing that. I do think that is a situation where I don't think you really need the courts. I think a lot of women do it because they're like vindictive, if I'm being real with you. I think a lot of times, like even my parents, when they split up, they didn't have to go through the courts and do all that bullshit. Nah, they were just like, look, bro, we're just going to co-parent this shit up. Like, don't get me wrong, my parents hated each other. Okay, when they first like split, they fucking hated each other. They wanted to wring each other's necks. It was bad. So for them to be able to sit there and be like, look, man, we just go amicably like co-parent this bullshit and we chilling, it's good. We don't need to do the courts and all that bull crap. I look at it like it's possible. You know what I mean? It's possible to just kind of like, you don't need the institution of marriage. You don't need the courts and all that stuff. If you have kids, you're like, hey, let's just do this amicably and, you know, 50-50 it up. I'll come over, you know, I'll give you a little money if, you know, you need it, this and that, whatever the case may be. You know, I think that's the best way to go about it. If I'm being honest with you, I just don't think marriage is like beneficial, especially for guys. You know what I mean? For women, it's a little beneficial, but like for dudes, it's not at all. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't like that, giving that advice. If I'm being honest with you, I don't like giving that advice of like, don't get married. You know, because I know there's a lot of religious guys. I know there's a lot of guys who, you know, look at it like, nah, man, you know, like I'm religious and I got this going on and blah, blah, blah. And I like to respect that and be like, all right, you know, I get it. If you see it that way and it's cool, you know, because there's a lot of guys that have like talked to me about it and they're like, oh, you know, I really like this girl and this and that and I really want to get married to her. And I'm just like, you know, with marriage, do you understand what comes with that? You know, what comes with the possibility of that? And they're like, yeah, but you know, I'm religious. And so that's kind of how I see it. And I'm like, okay. You know, and a lot of guys have come to that, like, I guess, or have given that kind of, you know, caveat is like, they're like, oh, you know, I'm getting married because it's religious. I always tell guys, get married under like, what is it called? Get married in like a church, you know what I mean? Get married as far as, it's not with the state, you do it religiously. I always say do that because that's the best way to kind of do it. And it also falls under like tradition of your religion more than it does with getting with the state and all that stuff. You know what I mean? But I get it why people do it. But yeah, why I went on a tangent. Sorry. Oh man. Okay, what is an immediate red flag that you have seen from someone after you slept with them? The white powdery substance that she pulled out on a little charcuterie board, snorted it, then put it back in her nightstand. Damn. Bruh. I've had a story where, and I think I've told this on the pod, I don't know, but I'm going to tell it anyways. There are a lot of girls that do the Coca-Cola, and it's crazy how many do it. I didn't think this was a big thing. I didn't think it was a big thing. I didn't think, you know, a lot of people did it. I thought it was a very niche drug, but no, it's actually a very common drug. Okay, I was on a dating app, Hinge. You know, met this really beautiful nurse girl. She was super sweet. You know, she's like, oh yeah, I work nights too. Like, you know, our schedules would fit so well and blah, blah, blah. And this and that. We started, texting back and forth. And we went on a date. Date was wonderful, man. We went to a little burger place where you can like, they pretty much, all the burger place does is they give you, you know, the bun, meat, and a bun. You know what I mean? And you can add cheese extra if you want. And all, you go to a little toppings bar and you kind of just, you know, lettuce, tomato, pickles, you know, relish, whatever you want to put on your burger, you can put on your burger. And so we went to one of those kind of places. It was super cool. It was fun. Great conversation. You know, she was into shit that I liked. You know, she was like, oh yeah, you know, I actually got into video games and anime because of my brother. And, you know, she was the youngest of of 3. So she had 2 older brothers, and then it was her. And then I was just like, oh yeah, you know, I'd so be down, because she likes to go to like Broadway plays and shit like that. So I was just like, oh my God, I've never done that, but I would be open down and go to it. She's like, oh my God, we just totally go to one. There was one going on that later that month, and I was just like, yo, let's do it. And so she was like, oh, you know, I want to come see you before like you go to work. And I'm like, for sure, you can come to the crib. And so she came over, and I live in an apartment complex, so I had to go out and get her. So she parks her car, and I was like, yeah, you know, just park anywhere that doesn't have like an awning over it. And she was like, okay, cool, say less. So she parks, I go out there and I meet her, and, you know, she has like this little, she was like, oh, I had to pick up something. Sorry, I'm late. I had to pick up something. And I was like, oh, no, don't worry about it. What did you have to pick up? I'm thinking like she picked up some snacks, or she picked up like some, you know, I don't know, food or, you know, it's condoms, you know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I didn't know what was going on in her head. So I was like, what did you have to pick up? And she was just like, oh, you know, I had to pick up like a little something. And she holds up a little bag, and it has like some white, you know, some white powder in there. And I'm like, what is that? And she's just like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, it's a good time. Like, it's going to be great. And I'm like, no, what is that? Seriously. And she's just like, it's just a little Coke. Like, it's fine. And I'm like, you're not bringing that in my house. And she's like, what? Why not? Like, why are you being such a party pooper? Da, da, da. And I'm like, and I told her, I was like, you know, like, I don't even smoke weed like that. You know, why the fuck would I want to do hardcore ass drugs like that? Like, what are you doing? And she's just like, oh, come on, why are you being so weird? And da-da-da. I'm like, no, bro, you're not bringing that in my house. That's not happening. And she's just like, wow, okay, if you're going to be like that, then I might as well just leave. And I was like, yeah, I think you should leave. I do. I think you should leave. And so, you know, she huffed and puffed, got in her car and drove off. And I'm like, bruh. And okay, you think, oh, but Aaron, that's just one girl, bro. That's just one. And so, okay, all right, cool. I get back on the Hinge, man. Nothing really works out. See this girl on Instagram. And I'm like, damn, this girl on Instagram is cute as fuck. I DM her. You know, I don't DM her, actually. I see one of her stories, and, you know, one of her captions was just like, oh, if anybody is down to go bowling, like, hit me up. And I was just like, girl, you already planning our first date. That is exactly what I DM'd her. And, you know, she took a while to respond, but then, you know, she finally responded and was just like, yeah, you know, I'm down. And I was like, all right, cool. So we go, we have a good time. Fantastic time, man. Went bowling. We was talking, laughing, having a good time. You know what I mean? Took her to eat. We talked, had a good time, whatever. We had been texting, yada, yada, yada. I had been trying to get a second, you know, hangout with her for a minute. And this is where it should have been my red flag. I won't lie to you. You guys are probably going to be like, man, come on, bruh. Like, how did you not know that this was going to happen? And I get it. If you guys want to...
You stupid.
I got you. It's cool. Don't worry about it. But she invited me to a rave. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Why the fuck not? That seems cool. That seems like real fun. But I told her, I was like, sadly, I have to work the day of the rave. I was like, look, I will get out of work, and then I will drive to you, and then we'll go together. And she was like, all right, cool. And mind you, it's not just her and I. It was me, her brother, and some friends, and all that kind of stuff. So we went. So this was Escape. So everybody's like dressed up and stuff like that. I didn't really have time to get a costume or nothing because I was coming from work. And so I get there, everything's fine, we're having a good time, we're enjoying our thing. We were looking for our friends, and we find our friends and all that kind of stuff. The moment we find our friends, mind you, like I said previously, I don't really smoke weed like that, but if I'm out with friends and I'm out doing something, or I'm out at a party or whatever, sure, I have no problem doing a little puff, whatever. And so, everything was cool and everything was fine. And then she pulls me aside and she's like, oh my God, I just took the biggest bump of coke. And I'm like, wait, hold up. You took what? And she's just like, yeah. It was so crazy. Oh my God. And I'm like, bro, who the fuck did you get that from? And she was like, oh, it's cool. It's like this guy, he just asked me if I wanted some. And I was just like, hell yeah. And I'm like, huh? Did you know this individual? She's like, no, it's cool. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, so you don't know the guy. You accepted a hardcore drug from the random guy. What are we doing? And I know you guys are just like, bro,
you stupid.
It's a rave, nigga. This is what they do. And I'm like, I get that. But the thing is when we went out on the first date, and then all the time that we were hanging out up until then, she had never mentioned any of that. We had a conversation about smoking marijuana. She's like, oh yeah, I smoke weed or whatever. And I was just like, oh, I don't do it that often. I'm not that type of person that's at home alone smoking weed. I just don't do that. If I'm out with friends or if I'm out at a party or something like that, sure, I'll smoke a little bit, whatever. But I'm just not a recreational user. That's my thing. I'm more of a, how would you say, like a social user, if you will. You know what I mean? And so my thing is when she had hit me with that, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And so then, okay, again, you're thinking, oh, but that's two girls, bro. That's two girls. And I'm like, okay, cool. It's two girls. Don't worry about it. And now you're thinking there's a third? Yes. I get back on the hinge, man. Get back on the hinge. Do my thing. Talk to another girl. It is what it is. We go out on a date. The first date. Bro. She was just she was jittery for some reason. And I was like, are you okay? Are you, you're fine. At first she told me she was cold. Okay. And I was like, do you want to wear my jacket? And she was like, yeah, thank you. That's really sweet. So, she puts my jacket on and I still notice that she's just mad jittery. And I'm like, are you sure you're okay? And she's just like, yeah. I'm totally fine. I just need to go to my car real quick. And I was like, okay. And I'm thinking in my head, this bitch is gonna drive off on me or something, but I'm like, she still has my jacket. So it should be fine. You know what I mean? She comes back and she's not jittery anymore. She sits down and she's just fine. And I'm like, are you good? She was like, yeah, I just had to grab something from my car. I'm sorry, real nervous about this date, whatever. I really like you. I think you're really cool, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, just doing a little bit of flexing her nostrils a lot and just she just snorted something. And I'm just like, hey, you good? You're doing a lot of flexing. And she's like, no. She's like, I'm fine. It's allergies. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right, it's allergies, whatever. So we get out of the restaurant. She gives me my jacket back. I walk her to her car. Now, this is where I catch it. This is where I'm like, fuck, we got another one. This is where the red flag comes out of nowhere. Get to her car, and, I hug her, and over her shoulder, I see on the dash, the lines are still there. And I'm like, okay. I didn't say anything. I was like, this was great. Yeah, get home safe. Okay. And I left, proceeded to block this one and never talk to me again. So for me, I was just like, okay, bro, 3 out of 3 is insane. Okay. 3 out of 3 is what the fuck, bro? Okay, so that's why for me personally, the cocaine thing that this guy's talking about, yeah, it is a little prevalent. It's a little wild, and I'm just like, wow. Okay, I didn't think that this was something that was so regular, I guess. Yeah, I just didn't think it. I really didn't. I didn't think it was so common. Yeah, man, wild. You got to be a little vigilant out there, especially as dudes. Just because my thing is I always tell guys, man, never get with girls that enjoy doing like drugs and all that kind of stuff. The reason being is because a lot of times these girls are doing anything and everything for these drugs. They don't care if they got to put a penis in their mouth. They don't care if they have to put it between their legs. They don't care. They are just like, I will do what I need to do to get what I want. And I'm like, no, thank you, chief. No fucking thank you. All right. We'll do two more in the thread. What is an immediate red flag that you've seen after sleeping with somebody? She pulled a bottle of vodka from under the pillow first thing the next morning, smearing off apple. Bro, that ain't fucking liquor. All right, anybody that tells you smearing off ice is fucking liquor, they are lying to you. All right, bro? Absolutely lying to you. What the fuck? No. You know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of here. Smearing off ice is fucking juice. Man, bro, that shit don't taste like nothing. It don't get you drunk. It's got like 2% alcohol. Get the hell out of here, man. But I digress. I digress. You do not want to be, yeah. Same thing, just like how I said you don't really want to be with like druggy girls like that. You don't want to be with girls who get drunk all the time. You don't. You don't. Those are the worst. Because the thing is guys who are drunks are women beaters. Women that are drunks are hoes. You know what I mean? So it's not good on either side. You know what I mean? At least the dude who's a drug dealer, you know, he's got money. And the girl who is, you know, is a druggie, well, you know, she's a whore. Okay, let's be real. like, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to the drug side of it, the dude's at least got money. Yeah, he's on drugs, but he's got money at least. You know, he's selling the dumb shit. You know what I mean? But when it comes to like beer or alcohol or, you know, yeah, being alcohol and all that kind of stuff, it's bad on both parties, bruh. Just bad on both parties. God damn. All right, this will be our last one. What is the immediate red flag that you have seen from somebody right after you slept with them? She sat up abruptly, pointed at the corner of the wall, and shouted, "There's a man in your room."
What did he say?
Hell nah. Hell nah. I flicked on the lights to show her that there wasn't, which she quietly accepted and laid back down. She wasn't scared anymore, but I was. Yeah, because what the fuck did you see? What the fuck did you see? Okay? What did you see? Who did you see? Because if you're bringing this thing in here, y'all can go. Bye-bye. If you guys remember the first Paranormal Activity where you know the demon pretty much wanted his girlfriend, I would have been like, bitch, get the fuck out my house. I would not be documenting it. I would not be cameraing it. I wouldn't have put the baby powder on the floor. I wouldn't have sat there and tried to fight him and I got thrown back into the room, into the camera and shit. Nah, bro. I don't care if she's got big titties, because she did. She had some big ass titties. I ain't gonna lie to you. And I see why, you know, my mans was just like, but these titties, my nigga. I'm just saying, he could have been a titty guy. You know, I'm an ass man myself. So, you know, if I had a big booty Latina and she was getting haunted by a ghost, I mean, would I stay? Maybe, but she'd have to live somewhere else. All right, we wouldn't be living together. That's not what would be happening. I'd be like, all right, look, I want to keep clapping that big booty, but you ain't gonna be in my house, you know. So I'm just saying. But yes, I digress. Yeah, no, we're dipping out of here. No, you're leaving. You're leaving, and I would tell Mr. Ghost Man, Demon Guy, whatever. I'd be like, hey, look, pimp. While she's over there, all you, dog. When she's over here, you know, she's halfway mine, half yours, half mine. All right, just a little bit. Share her. You know what I mean? All right, just share her a little bit with me. You know, because yeah, like I said, I think if Micah would have been just like, hey, look, man, you know, the titties be tittying. I know that you know what I mean. Just Can we share? Can we share? You know, you got to reason with the demons. Get the little Ouija board. Be like, hey, my nigga, can we share? Oh, man. Hey, you got to do what you got to do out in these streets. All right, that's going to go ahead and be today's thread, man. Hope you guys enjoyed the thread. We're going to speed through announcements, and we'll get right on into our book. Patreon.com/MyLastHolePodcast. Get an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenario to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday show. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for all the support. I love you guys. Appreciate you so very much. If you guys want to help out even more, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, as well as subscribing on YouTube. All of that helps, and all of it is free, and I appreciate everything that you guys have been doing. So this is not necessarily going to be like chapters or anything like that. It's just an epilogue. It's just going to be closing out the book closing out the first book of the series. There are 2 books. The next book is Sweet Venom. We might do that one after we finish Haunting the Hunter. So we'll finish this one today. And then next week we'll start Haunting the Hunter. Once we finish Haunting the Hunter, we might do Sweet Venom to kind of continue out the book, just because I really liked it, and I think you guys are really liking the book too. If there are books that you guys want to do while we are doing Haunting the Hunter, let me know. If there's a book that you'd rather do other than Sweet Venom, then let me know. If you want to just do Sweet Venom and you guys are all down for that after Haunting the Hunter, of course, then let me know and we'll get right on into it. Okay, so I'm a man of the people, you know what I mean? All right, so without further ado, let's get right on into the last 2 chapters, or epilogues if you will, of Beautiful Venom.
Epilogue 1. Galia. 2 weeks later. The crowd is buzzing with infectious energy, chanting the Vipers' names, getting drugged by the team's perfect play, led by Kane. Today he's an absolute star. He's scored the most, more than any offensive player, and has been the best defenseman as well, smoothly cutting off the opposing team's offenses and forcing their players to commit penalties and get sent to the penalty box. He's bringing his A-game, absolutely smashing it, leading his team to new heights, making the crowd go wild whenever he touches the puck. Even Megan, who's mainly here for Ryder, has been screaming her head off whenever Kane is gliding on the ice like an unstoppable gladiator. I've been screaming too. I brought my online energy to real life and have been cheering him on from start to finish. But I still suffer from a minor heart attack whenever he points at me, usually after he scores. Between periods, as the others head to the bench area, he skates toward me and taps the plexiglass with his stick while smiling wide. If only we didn't have this barrier, I'd jump him and kiss him for the whole world to see. When I first got back to town, I thought I'd stay a bit mad at him, that I'd try to punish him a bit more, even if out of pettiness. But the thing about Kane, he truly knows how to treat me. He's the only one who recognizes the right buttons to push and the way to my heart, my sister. Not only did he arrange for Vi to attend college next semester, but he also paid for it, in full. He also got her an apartment. I mean, it was for me, but Kane and I basically live together now, so it's hers. I really didn't want to leave Vi alone, and I try to spend a couple of nights a week with her. And even though I know he's not a fan, Kane doesn't complain, fully understanding my need to keep an eye on her in her current fragile state. He says he gets it because he has to watch over Preston as well, especially after the car incident and, to a lesser extent, Jude. I swear those 2 will make his hair turn white one of these days. In the midst of all that chaos with his troublemaker friends and the mess he's had to deal with after his father's alleged accidental death, Kane still looks out for me the most. Vi's college tuition, as well as the apartment, are only scratching the surface of what he's doing for me. He somehow managed to have me whitelisted at the Callahan Labs and hospital so that I can pursue my career. These reasons and more are why I just had to accept and go along with it, because Kane did it for me. He helped Violet because she's my family, because he cares about my happiness, and Violet's well-being is my happiness. Despite the relative peace, Violet still feels off and often zones out. She refuses to attend any of the hockey games with me, no matter how many times I try to convince her. Hell, I have to watch my mouth and not talk about the team when she's around, which is hard as hell, considering I'm a shameless Kane fanatic now. The queen of trolling people online for the Vipers. I have a great following as well due to my trolling skills. Anyway, I know part of the reason why Vi's like this. She's still scared of Jude, despite Kane's guarantee that he won't hurt her. And honestly, with Jude's nature, Kane can't control him. No one can. Not even Julian Callahan, who I suspect is the devil in a suit. Kane scores again when the clock is ticking down toward the end. Megan and I hug each other as we jump up and down. I love seeing Kane happy, smiling. Don't get me wrong, it's still not often, but ever since his father died, he's been more relaxed, as if the weight is slowly lifting off his shoulders. And I'll do everything in my power until it's completely gone, just like he helped with everything concerning Violet. Kane said that this is his last season. He never intended to go pro anyway, no matter how many offers are flowing his way. So he intends to enjoy it to the fullest, to get the Vipers the national championship, even if he has to kill Marcus for it. There have been a lot of threats to kill Marcus lately, especially from Preston. Pretty sure that one still hates me, though he stopped threatening me. Anyway, with Grant's death, both Kane and Helena are free. On the other hand, his relationship with his mother is still not the best, but it's not the worst either. He has visited her twice these past 2 weeks, but only because I'm playing the role of mediator. Now that Kane is the head of the Davenport family, he's easily fallen into his role and seems to be in complete control. But it's not the type of control where he suppresses himself and caters to others' expectations. It's more about his natural ability to lead and effortless knack for solving crises. In a short time, he's been able to demand everyone's respect for his new role. The other night, he was telling me about his plans to reform Vencor from the inside, and to do that, he needs to further strengthen his influence, and then help Jude and Preston snatch power in their families so that the three of them can team up. He has a lot of plans about bringing back banished family members, especially his uncle, as soon as his position is solidified enough to do so. He was so passionate, I was in awe. But I also know that his plans might start a riot in the dangerous depths of an organization like Vencor. The prospect of him having a target on his back scares me, but Kane said he'll be fine, and only asked me to be by his side, which I agreed to, no matter what. He's stuck with me whether he likes it or not. As the final buzzer sounds, our crowd goes wild, cheering, whistling, and clapping. I cut my mouth and call Kane's name. He turns my way, removing his helmet, as if he can single out my voice from the thousands of spectators, as if I'm the only one in the crowd. He looks mouth-wateringly gorgeous with his damp hair sticking to his temples and his eyes reflecting the ice, but somehow warm, soft. For me. Only me. Preston headlocks him, and the other players drag him with them. He laughs as they all gang up on him, and I record that laughter in the depths of my soul. I'm totally saving the game video later and keeping it in my folder that's full of everything Kane. As the players start trickling out of the rink, I also rush out and head to the tunnel that leads to the locker room. I'm still the team's intern, so I have an access badge. I'm also basically Kane's personal physical therapist. Though that pervert starts out by asking for a massage, then ends up stripping me naked and fucking me in all possible positions. Sitting on his lap, against the wall, on the island, in the bathtub. And that's when he's not chasing me and taking me like an animal in heat. I love our little games. I love it when I arrive at the penthouse and the lights are off, and I don't know when he'll start to hunt me. But I also love when he wakes me up with kisses, or while eating me out. When he fucks me slowly just to set my world ablaze. I honestly thought I only liked rough sex, and that gentle sex only gave me lukewarm orgasms. But that was before Kane. Before that time, he took my ass so slowly and with so much care. Since then, he's been alternating between a hunt and slow sex. The unpredictable pattern and the inability to figure out what he has planned always keeps me on my toes. When I arrive near the locker room, where many players are filtering in, their chatter and voices are so loud in the confined space. I crane my head to catch a glimpse of him to no avail. After most of them disappear inside, his tall frame staggers out. He's still in his gear, minus the helmet and gloves. Kane kills the distance between us in a few steps and wraps a hand around my waist, the other one above my head as he cages me against the wall. Suddenly, my senses are filled with him, his woodsy scent, those sharp eyes, and the absolutely gorgeous mouth that's now set in a line. Hi, I breathe.
What are you doing outside a room full of naked men, Dahlia?
I reach my hands out and slip them in his hair, ruffling and running my fingers through it until it's messy but somehow more beautiful. I'm only here for one naked man, though. A groan falls from his lips as he wraps a hand around my throat, slightly squeezing.
Don't tempt me, or I'll fuck you here now, my wildflower.
My insides tighten, but I still whisper, "We're in public."
Didn't stop me before, so go ahead. Tempt me.
I trap my lower lip between my teeth, and it takes an effort to not actually tempt him. It's impossible to keep any rational thoughts when I see those icy blue eyes that look at me with so much heat, so much warmth and affection, as if I'm his entire world. He's also mine, the man I never knew I needed by my side. So I get on my tiptoes and seal my mouth to his, then suck on his bottom lip before releasing it. You were amazing tonight. I just wanted to give you an after-the-game kiss. His glistening lips pull in a slight smile.
I'm going to need a fuck as well.
You're so greedy.
When it comes to you, yes,
Only me?
only you.
Maybe I'll come over after Violet goes to sleep tonight. There's a frown between his brows, but it quickly disappears, and he says nothing. Come on. I palm his cheek. I have to check up on her.
I know.
If it wasn't for that brute Jude trying to kill her.
I don't think he ever wanted to kill her, to be honest.
I pause. What do you mean?
Forget it.
My phone vibrates and Kane steps away when I open the text from my sister. Text. Violet. You forgot your umbrella, doll. It's raining. I'm in the arena's parking lot near Kane's car. Come pick it up. Me. Aw, thanks, Vi. You didn't have to. Violet. Of course I did. I don't want you to catch a cold. Me. On my way. I look back at Kane. Vi's brought me an umbrella. I'll wait for you by the parking lot.
You can go home with her if you like.
And miss the victory party? No way in hell.
You're getting a bit too addicted to those.
I love seeing my man being the center of attention. I smooch his mouth. See you in a bit. Kane smacks my ass and I gasp in mock horror before I hurry outside, pulling the hoodie over my head. The parking lot is starting to empty out from all the spectators, and the rest are running to their cars to escape the pouring rain. I can't find Vi in the midst of the chaos, so I try calling her, but she doesn't pick up. I go back to where Kane's car is parked. Not here. The area is practically deserted now, except for some players who are heading to their cars, chatting amongst each other. A flash of movement catches my attention from a corner near the building. I inch toward it in case Vi chose a secluded place to hide. She doesn't really do well with crowds and always finds a corner. My lips part at the scene unraveling before me. A large, muscular body is flattening my much smaller sister against the corner. His right arm is on the wall above her head, while the other clutches her chin in what looks like a painful grip. Jude. When the hell did he even leave the locker room? An open yellow umbrella lies on the ground, and the rain pours down, drenching them both. Rivulets forming on his leather jacket, her hair sticking to her pale face as she stares up at him, I'm not sure if it's rain or tears that stream down her cheeks, or a mixture of both. He leans down and whispers something in her ear. His muscles are tight, his posture stiffer than usual. Vi's eyes widen as he speaks, and I march forward, about to rip him a new one. Slap. I freeze. Did Vi just slap Jude? The Jude Callahan, whose name she trembles at the mere mention of? What the hell did he even say to make my sister, who'd never hurt a fly, slap him? Jude's lips pull in a smile as he strokes his cheek where she slapped him. Jude smiling? I've never seen him do that. Like, never. I snap myself out of my daze. Before he can retaliate, I rush over to my sister and pull her to my side. She's trembling all over, and something tells me it has nothing to do with the rain. Go away, Jude. I hug her closer as I glare at him. He glares back as if he wants to bash my head on the ground for daring to interrupt whatever the hell he was going to do. But he casts one last dark, cryptic look at my sister, and she stares back. Vi rarely looks at people directly. She usually stares at her shoes or anywhere but the other person. Jude finally walks away, and she releases a long exhale as if she forgot to breathe. I grab the umbrella and hold it over our heads. You okay, Vi? I swear I'm going to kill Jude one of these days. It's nothing. That didn't look like nothing. I study her. Did he hurt you? No, I'm all right. She forces a smile. Now that I brought your umbrella, I'm leaving. Want me to come along? Stop worrying so much, doll. I'll be fine. She motions behind me. Your boyfriend is waiting. As she walks away, her movements are stiff, and I frown. A strong arm wraps around my waist before Kane's soothing voice rushes into my ear.
What's wrong?
Jude was cornering Vi. He whispered something I couldn't hear. She slapped him, and he was smiling. What's up with that? Is all he says, his expression neutral. What type of response is that?
Just stay away from whatever foreplay they have going on.
Foreplay? What the hell are you talking about?
Probably nothing.
He presses me against his rock-hard chest.
More importantly, can I have your attention now?
I grin. You always have my attention.
Damn straight.
He lifts my chin.
I need that proper kiss now.
And then his lips devour mine. Until I completely forget we're in public. Until he's my entire world. And I'm his.
Epilogue 2. Kane. A year later. My heartbeat is steady as I lurk in the shadows of my mother's extravagant garden. No one is here, in the garden, or the house. I dismissed the entire staff and security team after my mother went on an international trip for the mental health charity she's now spending most of her time and money on. Dahlia doesn't know that, though. She thinks we're having a family dinner and is probably dolling herself up to look her best. But I have a surprise in store. The garden is cloaked in profound silence as I patiently wait. Snow blankets the ground, the white layers softening the contours of the stone lanterns and bridges, turning the sharp pond edges into gentle mounds. The bare branches of the cherry trees stretch toward the dusky sky, their bony figures etched against the hues of deepening indigo and violet. Tires scrunch against the gravel in the distance before I hear her soft voice, low, barely audible in the wind as she probably thanks Samuel and interrogates him. He hates when she interrogates him, and she seems to enjoy egging him on. The tires screech again and Samuel disappears like the rest of the staff. So it's only us. I linger behind a towering black pine, its needles dusted with frost, offering just enough concealment. Each breath is a sharp inhale of icy clarity that fills my lungs, then escapes as a faint cloud. The crunch of boots on snow reaches me before I make out her silhouette. Dolly is wrapped in a beige winter coat, and a furry hat covers her head, but her brown locks fall in a bouncy rhythm on either side of her shoulders. Lanterns flicker to life along the winding path as she walks, their warm glow casting elongated shadows that dance across the snow. She stops by the koi pond that lies still, a thin veil of ice forming at the edges, and waves.
Hi, guys. Sora, did you miss me, you bad boy?
Dahlia in her freaking recent habit of talking to fish. Mother's influence, and part of their bonding apparently, because they're planning to go koi fish shopping in Asia soon. The pale light catches in Dahlia's hair, a fleeting shimmer as she turns her head to take in her surroundings. Her breath forms delicate plumes that linger before fading away. The subtle rustle of her clothing brushes against the silence.
Kane?
She gets closer, like a magnet, as if knowing exactly where I am. The cold brings a faint flush to her cheeks, and the scent of jasmine reaches me, a rare warmth amidst the winter chill. My gaze sharpens, tracking her movement between the slender trunks of bamboo that sway ever so slightly in the evening breeze. I remain still, the rough bark of the pine pressing against my back, and anticipation coils tight within me. Controlled tension, but also lawless. As she moves closer, the details sharpen, the way her eyelashes catch tiny crystals of snow, the almost imperceptible curve of a smile tugging at her lips. My little wildflower is humming with excitement for when I'll ambush her. Craving it, trembling for it even. This is why Dahlia is the only one for me. She's able to embrace both my tame and unhinged sides. She's always along for the ride, even demanding the ride when I think she could use some rest. This woman was fucking made for me. I don't care if we're worlds apart, if we weren't born in the same world or taught the same manners. She's mine. Always. I step forward, breaking free from the shadows. Dahlia freezes at the soft crunch beneath my boot, but she doesn't turn around. No, she knows better than that. A low squeal escapes her as she runs, leaving her footsteps in the snow deep and uncontrolled.
I swear to God, Kane!
She screams as she darts between the trees.
It's freezing!
And yet, you're still running. I'm barely jogging behind her, letting her take the lead.
All right. I'm as crazy as you, but let's at least go inside.
I grab her by the waist, fully lifting her off the ground, and she yelps and kicks her feet. My prey knows how to fight me. She kicks and screams. She even bites me. Not only is my Dahlia a fighter, but she also knows exactly how to turn me on, rubbing her ass all over my cock and sliding her hands along my arms, my thighs, anywhere she can reach. I carry her to the enclosed glass house overlooking the garden. Warmth instantly hits us, and dozens of dim lanterns automatically shine, bathing the large bed in a soft light. Dahlia freezes for a second, and I throw her on the bed and toss away my jacket, then my t-shirt. She watches me with hooded eyes as she gets rid of her coat, revealing a little white knitted dress that complements her tan skin tone. When I kick my boots off, she does the same, and then I'm removing her dress while she's unbuttoning my jeans.
Don't touch me,
She murmurs as she frees my cock and slides it in her mouth. Her deep eyes, now the color of a forest, boring into mine. She releases me with a pop, and I think I'll fucking come here and now. I pull her to me using her bra. What did you just say?
Don't touch me, asshole.
The bra rips and I pinch both of her nipples. A moan spills from her lungs and I push her back, slapping her bare pussy. Is that why you came ready to be fucked? Your cunt is soaking wet, so I think it wants me to touch you. Her moans of pleasure echo in the air as I slide my cock against her slit. Then I grab her by the hair, lift her up, and bring her down on my hard cock. Dahlia's arms curl around my shoulders, and her face buries in the crook of my neck. I thrust deep, and she rolls her hips, meeting me stroke for stroke. When I suck on her shoulder, she bites my neck, leaving her own mark and branding me for good. You're riding my cock so well, Wildflower. I stroke her hair, whispering in her ear, your cunt was made for me.
Show me.
She sucks on my earlobe.
Harder.
Fuck. I fist her hair, then wrench her head back and kiss her deep as I go harder, faster, until she's bouncing on my cock and speaking in unintelligible syllables. I can be inside this woman every day, 3 times a day like a fucking meal, and I still can't get enough. She trembles, holding on to me tighter, and I go deeper, knowing how much she loves it. What I love, however, is hearing her scream my name as she shatters around my cock, her body trembling, her lips reaching mine, kissing and whispering my name. I don't last long, thrusting into her warm cunt a few more times before I fill her up with my cum. One day, I'll fill her up with my baby. Babies, plural, and she'll be mine forever. Our family will be the break from the past for the both of us. We'll never leave our kids in a cold world on their own, and we certainly won't be torturing emotions out of them.
I love you,
She whispers, panting as she looks at me with those eyes, a mixture of yellow and green.
I love you so much, Kane.
I love you too, Dahlia. Wrapping an arm around her back, I reach under the pillow and produce a red velvet box, then open it. Be my wife, my Mrs. Davenport, who will join me in giving the world the middle finger. Her eyes widen as she stares between my face and the blinding ring that matches her eye color. A perfectly imperfect mismatch of green, brown, and yellow. A rare gemstone that was worth every cent.
Oh my God. This is stunning.
Is that a yes? Actually, you don't get to refuse.
I won't. You're stuck with me.
A shine glints in her eyes as she offers me her hand.
I'll have no other man but you, Kane. You have my heart, body, and soul.
And you have mine. As I slide the ring onto her finger, she kisses me while smiling and crying, and I lick those tears, happy tears, the only tears Dahlia will ever shed from now on, because she's my world, and I'll burn anyone who comes close to it. The end. This could...
All right. Well, that has been Beautiful Venom. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed Beautiful Venom for as long as we've been doing it. I know that I have. Bit of an ending. I didn't see the whole marriage thing coming at the end, but hey, all right. Congratulations, you know? But hey, hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely let me know what you thought about the book, your favorite part, all that good stuff. Again, next week we're going to be doing Haunting the Hunter. So definitely keep an eye out and stay tuned for that next week on Thursday. And yeah, that's going to be your boy. See you guys tomorrow if you're on Patreon. I'll see you on Sunday if you're a free 99 person. Love you guys all. Peace.